Hello, BrandsPickled is here. Today we are here with a new Minecraft plugin tutorial. So today's plugin we are doing is called the Hyperdrive Advanced Teleportation plugin. I couldn't fit that on this line. So basically there is a lot of commands for this plugin, as well as a lot of stuff in the config to do, etc. So today this tutorial is to show you how to set up the GUI and just make it look nice and pretty and etc. So if we just type in /warps, and you will see we've got a whole GUI of a warp menu. So if we just click this, obviously there's no warps been set, which I'll be showing you. Then we go back to the warp menu. We've got just a bunch of them, which is pretty awesome. So to make a warp, we just basically select a location. So I'm going to make it in the spawn, and then we'll do warps create, and then the name. So I'm going to make this as spawn, and then the type. So you saw there's a public, there's a private, there's a shop, and then there's a server. There's four statuses of the warps. So we're going to make this as a server warp, and you can see that the warp spawn was created with the status server. So now if we type in /warps and go to the server warps here, you can see here the spawn and the coordinates, what world, what time it was there, etc. And you can see at the bottom there, you can edit the warp, because you can see here it's actually a grass block, as well as the description. It says you can destroy, basically edit the warp in the description. So if we just shift click it like so, and we want to change the ID of the warp, so we're going to make this as a let's make it as a crafting table. So we just find a crafting table there, and this crafting ID is 58 because it's telling you to get the ID. So 58 is going to be the ID, and you can see here it's a crafting table. So now if we just edit it again, we can go to the next one, which is the enchant look. If we just click that, and now the warp will look enchanted like so. So again, let's edit it, and let's edit the description line. So now this is a bit complex, but it's simple. So this teleports you to spawn. Then you need a colon and then a 0, and this is going to probably tell me it's done. So like so, you can see that this teleports you to spawn, and then you can see there's a second line there. So hope you enjoy the newly created spawn. If we just go and edit that one again, I just crossed it off by accident, and edit, and then command line, description line, sorry. And if we do 1 and then do a space like so, and now that is gone. You can have up to 3 lines, which you can see. That's why there's 2 gaps there. And now it says world, your coordinates, the pitch, and etc. The time when it was created. This is your own portal. And so let's edit it again, and the next one is the amount, so how much we want of it to show in the GUI. So if we click this and let's make it a 64, now it will show us 64 crafting tables there. So let's edit that again. I'm just going to change that back to 1 so it don't look that ugly. Okay, there we go. And the next one is change the description color. So we want it quite a nice colour for spawn. So I like the colour lime, if you didn't know from the previous tutorials. So we're going to do it as well, just type in A, because you don't need to do the and symbol. So we go to server spawn, and you can see it here. This teleports, oh wow, I spelled teleport wrong, I just realised. Let's redo that. This teleports you to spawn. There we go. There we go, that's better. And the next one is the name color. So if we just go back and go to this one and go to servers, this is so the color here is orange. So that's default by 6. So if we edit that color now, so we want this as we're going to make it a darker green. So that's going to be the 2. If you don't know your colors, just literally just Google Minecraft colors, and it will show you the color system, which is pretty awesome. And where are we looking? Here we are. And now you can see at the top, spawn is in the dark green, which is awesome. And this is to change the warp layer, so I don't want to change it, it's fine how it is. It's in the server warps. It's not in the public warps, private warps, or the shop warps. It's in the server warps. But if you don't want that warp anymore, you can actually, in fact, put it into the shop, and someone can buy that warp off you, which is pretty awesome. Here we go. We can add owners, so you can add a player. So I'm just going to add one of my old friends, Ollie T98, and obviously you can't find him because he hasn't been on the server. So you need someone who's on the server and online to add him to the ownership. So if we type in / warps, and if we go to this one and go to here, the next one is remove owner, which is obviously everyone knows that is. This is another way if you are like leaving the server or doing something, you can give ownership to someone else. So this warp spawn will go to someone else. Relocate this the warp. So if I click that, I have relocated the warp to here when it was there, which is pretty awesome. Okay, the next one is delete warp. We're not going to do that, and then that's basically everything how you basically design that warp. So if we just go and type in / warps, do this, and then spawn, you can see the effects. It's in 5 seconds, don't move, and there we go. I've been teleported up here, which is pretty awesome. So if we now go to the config file, so let me switch screens, boom, and it has made this file here, Hyperdrive, and warps, and there's a spawn. So if we just look here, and it will show you the information about the warp, what we just did. So you obviously can see the spawn, the ID was 58, that's the crafting table. There's Minecraft music in the background, you can see. Then the amounts, what I've put, the shop price, obviously it's not a shop, so it's going to be on default. Usage, so this is basically how much it's going to cost players to teleport to that warp. Use commands, we're not going to use commands for the teleportation, there's no need. And then the description here, we can get rid of that line if so. And this teleports you to spawn, that's what I added. The enchant look is true, the description colour is A, the name colour is A, and then here's the permission. So if I gave everyone that permission, they can teleport to that warp, and obviously the location of the plugin. So let me just save that. And now, if you see here, you have got 4 files here. So your config file, your hooks, your language, and your menu. So if we just go to our config to start off with, and you can see here, if you want to be updated in your config file or when you connect to the server, if there's a new version of the plugin, you can. So you can put that as to true. Here we have got a SQL database, which you can connect to it if you want to, but you don't need to have one if not, because it will just build up in the folder, in the data folder. You can connect to your database so it's connected to an actual database, so that's probably one of the better. So here's the converters. So Essentials Warp Converter, if you want to put that to true, because if you've already got a server on it and you've seen this plugin and you think, oh my god, it's amazing because it's got a GUI and etc. That's how I was. Basically, you change that to true, and then you just convert all the warps, what you've made in Essentials, and it actually automatically goes into the GUI, and then you just need to edit them, which is pretty awesome. And then all the Essentials warps will go into server warps, because they are technically server warps, which is awesome as well. And then here's your signs. I'll be showing you how to do a sign in this after this tutorial. This is talking about all your signs. So signs true, then your colour of your signs. So that's at the top. So that's a pink. Then the force teleportation, refresh cooldown, view cooldown, warp cooldown is 15, warp delay is 5. So I normally have it as 3. This is if you move when you're teleporting, it will cancel. That should be movement, but you know. Default max warp, so every player can have 4 warps. If you want it to unlimited, you can set it as -1. Default warp limit is 2. Default private is 2. Shop is 2. The random teleportation, it will, if you want players to have a cooldown on that, which normally people have it around about 10 seconds or so, which you can see here, it's down here, which you can edit. The basic coordinates, so if you go in like this, like your point, and say you want them to go 10,000 right, 10,000 left, 10,000 forward, 10,000 back, you basically just do 10,000, then the Y coordinates. So we want them to be above ground-ish, so a rough estimate for above ground is 65-ish, and then your Z is 10,000 as well. Your cooldown, like I said, normally people have it around about 10, and then your delay, so when you do RTP, it takes you 3 to 5 seconds, so I'm going to put it as 3. Then the radius, oh sorry, this is the radius. The base coordinates is normally where you want the middle point is. So in the center I normally have 0, 0, 65. Oh god. There's the radius. Search 15 times, so it searches for a nice safe zone for you, so you're not in lava. Black cliffs blocks, so lava blocks, water blocks, cacti will probably be on there. What's cacti block? I'll have a look. Cacti is 81. No, it's not on there, so if I type in 81, we don't want to teleport on a cactus. And then the warpins, the group warpins, which is pretty awesome. So this is, like I said, you make a group of like people, they can see the warps. And then your title, so I want to change this, so teleporting in, and then it shows you how many seconds, so don't move. So I'll change that into a red colour and see. And then it fade, then how long it's displayed for, and then fade out. Here we go, the title. So you have been teleported to the warp name, then that's going to fade in and fade out. And then the cooldown, that's again with the title. You may not teleport for another certain amount of seconds. That will fade in, fade out. Random teleportation, again, you will randomly teleported. Then your coordinates will be underneath and what world. Fade in, fade out. And then the icons, which you can see here. And then the lines, so this is so if we just go into Minecraft quickly, I'll show you what all these lines were. So Minecraft, type /warps, go to R warp. So the line is that yellow long line you can see there. So if we go back to the actual files, so if we want to just change this to, I like that. I don't know why, I like that kind of system. And the line colour, we're going to change that as a no, we're going to change that as a 3. Actually a B. I like a cyan colour. And then default my warp status is a private, so if you don't support like server, public, etc., so when you do /warps create name and then the actual status, it would automatically go to private. So when you example /warp create house, without that ending bit, it will go default into private, which is what players will normally have. And here we got description max, which is 32. Description lines maximum 2. You can make it 3, 4. It's up to you. Then here's your default description. So I'm just going to keep that how it is. Default ID. So I'm going to change that to 22, which is a lapis block. Then the amount is 1. Show coordinates. Show owner. So if you don't want the coordinates, I'm going to change that to false, because I think the coordinates to me is ugly, but many people would like that to see if the warp is nearby. Then this warp is free, then it shows you prices. If we keep going down, so basically this is all the text. What you see is left by, right click by. This is all formatting, and here's the chat. and it's got a filter, so there's no swearing in warps, no exclamation marks, no dodgy stuff. ID filter, so a ban icon, so you can't have air, you can't have 7, you can't have 8, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Then your warp sounds, so when you open the warps, it was that like Enderman kind of ender chest sound. So if we couldn't actually edit that, so if we go to this place, and this is all the sounds, so when I open that warp, I want a chest sound. So if I do Control F, sorry, and we want a block chest open, so when we open it, so if we edit this to that and close that, make sure it's inside the brackets, and when you click on one of the buttons, so like a private server, public, not server, sorry, a private warp, public warp, server warp, or a shop warp, it does a button noise. So we want let's have a bell note. I keep doing that by accident. And then do that, and then delete that bit. And then when you open on the menu, which is a chest anyway. Oh, okay, my bad. That is, yeah. Okay, that is that bit. This is the bit when you get actually teleported. Sorry, that was my bad. Ender pearl. No, Ender. Let's do Ender dragon. That was cool. I saw that. Let's have fireball. Ender dragon fireball explode. And so then the bell is when you actually get to the menu. Open the menu. That's cool. Animation. That's cool. Fireworks spins. Yep. The warp. Yep. Fireworks sparkles. That was the thing what goes around you. So if we just copy that. So which one? So this one is the animation. This is when you teleport in. This is when you get actual warped, I think, if that's correct. So if we go to here and do, let's do hearts. Where was it? Hearts. Hearts warp here. And then make sure it's in the speech, and then there's group ones, group warps. This is prices, so set that as true if you want the prices to teleport, like that, and then we'll save that and go back. The next one is your hooks. So this is if you're connecting any plugins. So factions, wild guard, kingdoms, resistance. Jesus, I couldn't say that one. Then your language file. This is like going to be your prefix, so Hyperdrive. So if you wanted to change that, you can. I'm going to keep it how it is because it's the Hyperdrive plugin which I'm reviewing. But I am going to change the color of this one. So and A and 2, and that's that. There's a lot of things you can edit here. So sign messages, etc. Let's go back, and then your menu. So the menu is obviously what shows you all the public warps, my warps, warp shop, private warps, and server warps. So here you can see that number 10, 11, 12, etc. is loaded in, which is pretty awesome. Then the menu warp name. So again, I never like bold text, and this is at the top left at your GUI. And this is how big the size of your GUI you want it to be. Make sure it's in 9, so 45 is in the 9 times table, so the lowest one obviously you can have is 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, which is pretty awesome. Your open message, you have opened the warp menu, so that will tell you you've opened that, obviously the warp menu. If you don't want that to show up, so change that to false, like so. Use background items, and then background items, which is shown here, and then it will show you that 160 is actually the here the background items is the the stained clay, not clay, sorry, the stained windows, what's all the way around. So that is literally the default one, so it's black windows here. So if we want to change the back ones to a barrier, so if I just get a barrier ID quickly in Minecraft, so the ID for a barrier is 166, and then the durability will be 0, and then we're going to change this as choose a warp, and then the law will just be blank, the amount is going to be 1, and then public warps, like here, I don't like it in bold, so and N is basically the underscore underneath it, and yet you can hear me, I was double checking, it's the underscore, so I don't like the underscore because it makes the text look bigger. So I'm going to remove that. Then this is the law. So open the public warps menus where players can view teleports to other players' warps that are in the player stage, public stage. Sorry. Then you just click to open, and it will show you other more. And this is the ID. So for public warp ID, I'm going to have it as the diamond sword. So let me just close that. Diamond sword is 276, and the durability is going to be 0. That's going to be at slot 11, and the amount is 1. And then the next one is my warps. So let me just double check my warps was. My warps is a chest. Again, it's got the underline in red as well as it's bold. So I'm just going to remove that, and as you can see the description, you can edit the description if you wanted to. And this is the ID as a chest. I want to change that to a crafting table. So that's a 58. Next one is warp shop. Again, it's bold with an underline, so we're going to remove that. There's the description, 266. That is a gold ingot. So a warp shop, yeah, that is. I'm going to keep that how it is because obviously gold is like a currency. Again here, and D with an underscore, and I want to change that to and 2. And the ID is 355, which is a white bed. So server normally is an awesome one because you'd never know what item to use, but I do. I want to use a command block, which is 137. The amount is 1, yeah, and then the private warp. I was going to use that as a barrier, but no point using that as a barrier. It's already a barrier anyway. Private warp, that's going to be a tripwire hook because normally they are a key for a crate. So private, you need a key. Like that. And then the last one, wait, did I edit that? Yeah, the last one is public warps. I'm going to keep that how it is. And then these are the things at the bottom right. And that is basically what I want to edit. And let's go back to the files. And let's restart the server. So what I've shown you at the moment is how to make the warp, how to edit the warp, how to edit the text and information, and yeah. So that's just generating. Okay, that's now up. And now, we are showing in Minecraft? Yes, we are. Awesome. And now, if we type Fortress Warps, you can see all barriers. It's not the greatest look finger. It's not the greatest look. Oh well. You can see there's all barriers, and it says choose a warp. And there's public warps, my warps, warp shop, private warps, and server warps. And did you hear that? It went ding, and that's from the is it base? I think it was. We chose base note block, and then you can see here, I did the dash with an X, and that made that little blue thing at the top and the bottom there, and the coordinates is not there anymore. So if we click it, you can now see it did the ding noise again, and it teleported, and it did that explosion with a circle of hearts. I'll do that again. So warps, ding, ding. There we go. You cannot teleport for another 4 seconds, so we'll just wait a second. And you can see here, I've changed the colour. So if we do warps, and then done, and there we go. Teleport in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, and now if we get a sign, hello, sign. And let's make a sign over here. What we do? / warp. Oh god. Warp. And then what was the warp name? It was called spawn. And there, a sign has been made. There we go. And we can see our circle of hearts. There we go. And that's basically how you do the this plugin, the Hyperdrive Advanced Teleportation plugin. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little plugin tutorial. It was pretty damn advanced, if I say so. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, and peace.